Welcome in. You're here for a deep dive. And today, we're looking at a really interesting move by the Los Angeles Lakers just as they're heading into the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they had a strong finish, didn't they? Third seed in the West, 50-32.
Exactly. And now they've got the Minnesota Timberwolves lined up in the first round. But the thing that caught our eye, the thing we're digging into, is a roster decision they made before any playoff action even started.
We're talking about their two-way players, Trey Jemison III and Christian Koloko.
Right. And we've got some info on this from ESPN's Dave McMenamin, reported via Yardbarker. Gives us a bit of insight into their thinking.
It does, and it kind of raises questions about, how you build that playoff roster. What do you prioritize?
Okay, so let's jump right in. What happened with Jemison and Koloko? What does it mean that their two-way deals weren't, converted?
Well, the bottom line is because those contracts weren't converted to standard NBA deals before the regular season ended, they're just not eligible to play in the playoffs.
Ah, okay. So that's a hard rule then, tied to the two-way contract itself.
Yeah, pretty much. Those contracts are mainly for moving between the NBA team and the G League, and they limit NBA games. Playoff eligibility isn't automatic. You need that conversion.
Got it. And these guys, they actually played during the season, right? They weren't just, sitting on the end of the bench the whole time.
No, absolutely. Koloko, the center, he played in 37 games, averaged, 2.4 points, 2.5 rebounds,
Yeah.
shot really well, too, over 60% from the field.
Okay, and Jemison?
Jemison, a forward, was in 16 games. Similar numbers, actually, 2.4 points, 2.8 rebounds, shooting around 47%.
So, not setting the world on fire, but contributing. They were part of the mix,
Definitely part of the mix at times, which makes the next piece kind of interesting.
which is.
Even though they can't play in the playoff games, the report says both Jemison and Koloko have still been practicing with the team, and they'll be with the team during the whole playoff run.
Okay, now that feels deliberate. Why keep them around, practicing, traveling, if they can't actually suit up for the games?
Well, it really points to the reason behind the main decision, the reason they weren't converted in the first place.
All right, lay it on us. What's the big why here?
So, according to a team source in that ESPN report, the main driver was they liked the chemistry of the group.
Like the chemistry, okay.
Huh. That was the phrase used. They liked the chemistry they had built up during the regular season and didn't want to mess with it.
That's stress. Well, it goes against the grain a bit, doesn't it? Usually, teams are trying to add anyone they can for a playoff push, grabbing any edge.
Right. You think about adding depth, maybe a specialist. But here, the Lakers seem to be saying, hold on, what we have together is maybe more important right now.
So the thinking is disrupting that existing dynamic, even with guys who know the system somewhat, might actually be a net negative.
That seems to be the calculation, yeah. Maybe they feel the roles are super clear, the communication's humming, and introducing even slightly different variables could upset that balance. Playoffs are intense, right? That cohesion matters.
So trust, familiarity, those intangibles are outweighing the potential, maybe limited on-court minutes these two guys could have offered.
It certainly looks that way. It's a statement about what they believe wins in the postseason. Is it just talent accumulation, or is it how that talent meshes? They're clearly leaning towards the mesh.
And it's not like they have an easy first round. Minnesota's tough.
Oh, definitely. The Timberwolves had a great season.
So remind us quickly, when are those games? Does the schedule impact this thinking at all?
Okay, yeah. Game 1 is this Saturday, April 19th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
Got it.
Game 2 is Tuesday the 22nd, 10 p.m. Eastern, TNT. Then Game 3 is Friday the 25th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
In game 4?
Game 4 is a Sunday afternoon game, April 27th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, back on ABC.
Yeah.
And then, 5, 6, 7, if needed, those are TBD.
Okay. So, facing that Timberwolves team, known for defense, Gobert inside, does this chemistry focus maybe tell us something about their game plan?
It could, yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps they feel their best bet against that defense is relying on offensive sets and reads that the current rotation guys know inside and out, like muscle memory.
Less thinking, more reacting based on familiarity.
Exactly. Introducing players, even familiar ones who haven't been in that specific high-pressure playoff mix consistently, might just slow things down or lead to hesitation. Maybe they think that smooth execution born from chemistry is their best shot at cracking that Minnesota D.
So it's a bet on the known quantity of their group dynamic.
It really seems like it. And, you think back to
To
last year.
get to Denver in the first round.
Yeah, right. Maybe there was some reflection there. Maybe they felt like this year, ensuring that team bond, that stability, was paramount heading in. It's a choice, though. It definitely limits their options if injuries hit or foul trouble mounts.
No doubt. So for everyone listening, the big takeaway seems to be this. The Lakers are betting big on team chemistry. They value how their current group works together so much that they're willing to forego having those two extra players eligible for the playoffs.
It's a conscious strategic choice. It says that for them, right now, the sum of the parts, how they fit together, might be greater than just adding more parts. It's a fascinating angle in a league often obsessed with star power and sheer talent level.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. They believe this established dynamic gives them the best chance against a tough Timberwolves team.
Okay, so wrapping this up, Lakers versus Timberwolves, game 1 Saturday. The Lakers made a call. Jemison and Koloko stay on two-way deals, ineligible for playoff games, all in the name of preserving team chemistry.
It's a strong conviction move. And it leads us to that final question for you, the listener, to chew on. In today's NBA, with all the focus on acquiring talent, how much weight do you put on established team chemistry for playoff success?
Yeah, is this Lakers gamble on cohesion a smart play? Or will they end up wishing they had those extra bodies available when the pressure really ramps up?
Definitely something to watch as this series unfolds.
Absolutely. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.